family, the memories you create, the legacy you leave behind, and your ability to enjoy life in the moment. It's also about seeing the QMAX possibilities and seizing investment opportunities to achieve the future you want and deserve. Which is why QMAX Wealth will focus on your investments so you can experience more. Because true wealth is truly more. To start investing today, call 876-926-7767.
The local news is brought to you by Derriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments.
Welcome back to CBX Business News. We begin with a major financial shock to Jamaica's recovery outlook. Jamaica's fiscal plans have been upended, with the government confirming that the economic fallout from Hurricane Melissa will drive the country into its first major post-pandemic deficit. Finance Minister Favour Williams told Parliament that real GDP for financial year 2025-26 is now projected to contract by 4.3%. Nominal GDP is also expected to slip into negative territory.
The preliminary projection for real economic growth for fiscal year 2025-26 now stands at minus 4.3%. A decline compared to 2.2% at the time of the original budget. Nominal growth is now projected to be minus 0.2%.
With the revenue base weakened, the government's previously balanced second supplementary budget is now projected to turn into a 3.5% fiscal deficit, with the debt to GDP ratio projected to climb to over 68%.
As a result, the central government's second supplementary estimates for fiscal year 2025-26, which was tabled on Tuesday, October 21, 2025, must now be significantly adjusted for the impact both revenue and expenditure on the budget arising from pre- and post-Hurricane Melissa matters. Whereas the second supplementary budget was projected to be in balance, the preliminary assessment is for the central government to now generate a fiscal deficit of 3.5%. The debt ratio is now projected to increase to 68.2% of GDP for this fiscal year.
That was Jamaica's Finance Minister Favour Williams. Scotia Group Jamaica is closing fiscal 2025 on solid footing, reporting $19.9 billion in net income despite the drag of $817 million in non-recurring charges tied to operational efficiency measures, asset write-downs, and provisions for the unprecedented impact of Hurricane Melissa. The banking conglomerate expanded its total asset base to $773.8 billion, a 9.8% climb powered by robust loan growth across its consumer, mortgage, and commercial portfolios. Mortgages surged 20%, Scotiaplan loans jumped 16%, and total loan growth hit 12.1% year over year, underscoring strong credit demand even amid post-hurricane economic turbulence. Revenues reached $67.6 billion, up 6.8%, driven by a sharp rise in net interest income and an 8% expansion in the bank's interest-earning activities. Deposits soared 11.3% to $529.8 billion, signaling renewed client confidence and strengthening liquidity buffers as Jamaica navigates recovery. JMMB Group is setting the stage for an aggressive investment push in 2026, signaling what executives describe as a year of advancement as the firm sharpens its strategy across wealth management, capital markets, and corporate financing. In remarks to CBX News, JMMB Investments Branch Operations Manager Barbara Mitchell says the institution intends to position itself to take Jamaica's financial sector by storm.
26 is going to be a year of advancement, a year where JMMB optimize in the different practices and purposes, and to take Jamaica by storm, as it were, to take Jamaica to the highest. Because JMMB stands for its people, it stands for country, and it also stands for other companies.
That was JMMB Investments Branch Operations Manager Barbara Mitchell. In other news, Jamaica's health system is getting a rare and high-impact injection of capacity as China's 300-bed mobile hospital ship completes a historic multi-port mission across the island. Speaking during a press conference earlier today, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says over the past week, the state-of-the-art vessel, the Ark Silk Road, has serviced Kingston, St. James, and now Trelawney, generating unprecedented relief for the country's clinics and hospitals.
The attempt of a coordinated approach to determine what will happen with not 5 but 3 hospitals, Black River, Falmouth, and Noel Homes, the 3 hospitals that are literally on the coastline, to determine should we rebuild or strengthen them in their current location, or should a relocation of 1 or all 3 take place in the interest of building greater resilience.
That was Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. We move to the latest updates from the JSE Equities. In Thursday's trading session, the JSE market activity resulted in the trading of 98 stocks, of which 37 advanced, 46 declined, and 15 traded firm. Leading the winners are Epley Caribbean Property Fund SCC, ISP Finance Services, Margaritaville Turks, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company, while leading the losers are Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, Pulse Investments, AS Bryden & Sons Holdings, and Iron Rock Insurance Company. The main index declined by 2,235.72 points, or 0.72%, to close at 309,440.32 points. The junior market index declined by 13.92 points, or 0.42%, to close at 3,272.05 points.
And it's time for Market Education Feature, brought to you by Carrie Chris. Regional ratings, global standard.
In today's market education feature, we're discussing differentiated marketing. Differentiated marketing is a strategy in which a company creates distinct campaigns tailored to various audience segments. By targeting specific demographic traits such as age, gender, location, or personal interest, this approach helps businesses connect with customers more effectively, build stronger relationships, boost brand visibility, and drive sales. Differentiated marketing is valuable because it enables brands to engage diverse audiences with messages crafted specifically for them. With a thoughtful brand strategy, companies can address customers' unique needs through targeted channels and in turn strengthen performance measures such as objectives and key results.
The Market Education Feature was brought to you by Carrie Chris, Regional Ratings, Global Standards.
And that's it for the local news segment. Please stay with us. The regional news is up next.
The local news is brought to you by Darriman Trading, better from the start. Development Bank of Jamaica, facilitating economic growth and development. Caribbean flavors and fragrances, tease the senses, and Pulse Investments.
We get it! We get the big contract! $50,000 units a month for 3 years! Great, but we need help.
If you are a business owner that requires capital for the expansion of your business, talk to a registered broker today to find out more about listing your company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, an efficient alternative to other financing options.
Thank God for the Jamaica Stock Exchange junior market.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Feeling so good right now. Yeah, yeah. It's feeling so good right now. Don't never, ever, ever wanna calm down. No, no, no.
Introducing the Corporate Services Unit, your go-to experts for corporate secretarial solutions. We offer statutory compliance, efficient minute taking, registered office address services, management of board and members meetings, setup and maintenance of corporate registers. Stay ahead with our proactive approach to new regulations. We operate under the Trust and Corporate Service Provider, licensed to the JCSD Trustee Services Limited. We're here to simplify your corporate journey, no matter the size of your company. Contact the Corporate Service Unit today and let's streamline your compliance journey together, because your success is our business.
Me grew up and see my granny save her money under her mattress.
Exactly.
Okay. Your grandmother's house never burned down?
No, how you reach that, so? That was a one-off thing.
That could have happened to anybody. That's why you must put your money in a financial institution and protect it.
What if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in.
What you mean?
JDIC is a financial safety net which provides coverage for your money in case your financial institution fails.
Explain that to me.
All right. Because of the JDIC deposit insurance scheme, once you put your money into a financial institution like a bank or building society, you can get coverage of up to a maximum of $1.2 million per deposit of your financial institution if it should fail. And for even more information, you can visit their new website at www.jdic.org, and you can follow the social media platforms for the latest information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Welcome back. And now for the regional business news. A new flagship report from the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, is warning that weak competition is quietly costing Latin America and the Caribbean billions in lost growth, suppressing wages and stunting the region's firms. According to the study, Markets for Development Improving Lives Through Competition, market concentration across key sectors is 4 times higher than in advanced economies, giving dominant players oversized control in telecommunications, banking, health, and other industries that shape daily economic life. The impact is stark. Firms charge markups averaging 35% above cost. Workers receive just half of the value they produce, and 95% of companies remain tiny and informal, limiting innovation and scale. IDB President Elan Goldfein argues that this is no longer a technical issue. It's a structural roadblock to prosperity. If the region were to simply match the competitiveness of advanced economies, the IDB estimates GDP per capita could rise by up to 11%, with the potential to reach 25% under deeper labor market reforms. Inequality could fall by 6%, driven by better jobs, fairer wages, and more productive firms. The report calls on governments to tackle the region's entrenched bottlenecks through smarter regulation, reduced market fragmentation, and stronger competition authorities, positioning fairer markets as a growth engine rather than an afterthought. The Bahamas is gearing up for its most ambitious shakeup of the credit union sector in nearly a decade, as the central bank rolls out a sweeping package of reforms designed to harden financial stability, modernize governance, and strengthen crisis response tools across the industry. Speaking during an industry briefing on Wednesday, Central Bank Deputy Legal Counsel Vandera Carey says the proposed legislative overhaul, now out for public consultation, targets long-standing gaps in the regulatory framework. This gives the bank a clearer authority to intervene early, enforce risk management standards, and guide credit unions towards more resilient capital structures.
There's been no legislative changes, and this has brought about many constraints for the central bank in the execution of the supervisory role that we have. And in other cases, there was quite a number of legislative gaps, resulting in the lack of resolution and good governance provisions. And if I may be more specific, the lack of authority to take proactive measures to prevent the failure of a credit union was also at stake.
She says under the reforms, boards will face higher governance expectations with mandatory pre-approval for directors.
In this regard, the bill is introducing a few provisions to fulfill these measures. Firstly, the pre-approval of directors. A member who is interested in participating in election to the board must firstly be pre-approved before participating in the electoral process. This also refers to incidents where a vacancy on the board may arise. The bank should be notified, and the same process should be carried out before that position can in fact be filled.
That was the Central Bank of the Bahamas Deputy Legal Counsel, Vandera Carey. In other news, Guyana's Maritime Administration Department, MARAD, is confronting a serious breach of maritime protocol after the United States intercepted a crude oil tanker falsely flying the Guyanese flag in international waters. U.S. authorities informed MARAD that the motor tanker skipper, formerly the Adisa, and bearing IMO number 9304667, was operating with Guyana's flag despite not being registered in the country. The unauthorized use of a national flag is considered a high-risk violation in global shipping, often linked to efforts to evade regulatory oversight, sanctions, or insurance controls. For Guyana, an emerging oil exporter with a growing maritime registry. The discovery raises concerns about reputational exposure and potential scrutiny of legitimate Guyanese flagged vessels. MARAD says it will work with international partners to identify and take firm action against any further misuse of the Guyanese flag, underscoring the importance of safeguarding the integrity of the registry as Guyana's shipping footprint expands. It's now time for news from the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 17 securities, of which 2 advanced, 6 declined, and 9 traded firm. Today's winners are Republic Financial Holdings and Angostura Holdings, while leading the losers are A.S. Bryden & Sons Holdings, JMMB Group, Ansa McCall, and Trinidad and Tobago NGL. Trading activity resulted in the following movements. The All-TNT Index declined by 4.38 points to close at 1,345.87. The Composite Index declined by 2.68 points to close at 934.05. The Cross-Listed Index declined by 0.12 points to close at 69.05. The SME Index remained at 94.31. And we take a short break, but please do stay with us. The international news segment is up next.
If it were not for the Jamaica Stock Exchange listing, Phosphate Company Limited would not be where it's at today. I called them, they listened to my concerns and my fears, and they gave me the answers. All the fears I had about banks, about losing control, you are having them. And I tell you, they were dissipated when I spoke to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. This is one of the best decisions I have ever made in business. If you want to change the trajectory of your business and to grow, make that call today to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. You will be glad you did.
We're here to open a savings account for my son John. I really want him to start saving and managing his own money.
And I need for Safe to visit my father in New York.
Okay, based on what you said and our risk assessment, he will qualify for simplified customer due diligence requirements. I'll need your ID, proof of income, TRN, and John's ID as well.
Okay, here you go.
Opening an account is easier than you think using simplified customer due diligence requirements, also called CDD.
I'm trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
I'm also trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
Start a conversation with the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Check jamstockx.com for information and a list of registered stockbrokers. You can also call the Jamaica Stock Exchange at 876-967-3271 for information on how to begin. I am achieving my financial goals.
I'm achieving my financial goals.
Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited has been a part of Jamaica's manufacturing landscape for over 20 years. By crafting unique flavors and fragrances, we have become a part of your favorite household and food items, such as beverages, ice cream, household cleaners, and much more. Known throughout the Caribbean for the highest quality, we continue to innovate with strong leadership, a dedicated team with integrity. We go the extra mile for our customers. Create the next taste sensation. Contact us at 876-923-5111 or visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn pages.
Serious about building Jamaica? Build with solid PVC pipes and conduits, manufactured in Jamaica by Phosphate, made to the highest standard. Solid PVC pipes and conduits are made in Jamaica by Jamaicans for Jamaicans. Available at hardware stores across the island. Take some solid advice, support our economy, and build well. Buy solid PVC pipes. Next time, ask for solid brand PVC pipes and conduits. Call our distributors or Phosphate at 876-937-5099.
Okay, I just sent the money. I'll WhatsApp you the tracking number.
Thanks, Daddy. I can't wait to buy that PS5.
Listen to me. Your birthday money is not just for spending. Remember what I told your mom? Remember to open the bank account immediately after collecting the money. Your mom has her ID, TRN, proof of address, proof of income, and your school ID.
I'm not an adult yet, so Mommy will have to open the account with me.
Yes. Anyways, I'm headed back to work, so call me later. I love you guys.
This financial literacy tip is brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, promoting financial inclusion. For more information, visit our BOJ Real Talk playlist on our YouTube channel.
Your gardening coming along well.
Thanks, man. You know, it's a long time I've been working at it.
I can see that. I saw your mail by the gate, so I'll pick it up for you. But tell me something, why are you still receiving dividend checks by mail?
What do you mean about that?
You need to give JCSD a mandate.
You know, me hear about the mandate them. I'm going over there right now.
A mandate means giving instructions to the Jamaica Central Securities Depository Limited, JCSD, relating to the handling of your dividend or interest payment. There are 3 types of mandates. The first is a bank mandate. The second is a hold mandate. Lastly, we have what we call a third-party mandate, with which the investor may wish to send their dividend or interest to someone other than the parties on their account or institution of their choice.
I'm trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
I'm also trading stocks to achieve my financial goals.
Start a conversation with the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Check jamstockx.com for information and a list of registered stockbrokers. You can also call the Jamaica Stock Exchange at 876-967-3271 for information on how to begin. I am achieving my financial goals.
I'm achieving my financial goals.
Fesco started from 5 shareholders who believed that they could execute a fuel company as good as or as better than any multinational. The director shareholders always believed that the dealers within our network should be owners of the company. They believe that staff should be owners of the company. And specifically also believe that the public should become shareholders. That cannot be facilitated by a bank loan. Our experience so far has translated into additional customers. Our transparency has allowed us to access credit easier and at better rates. So if you're a private company thinking about growing your profits, having better access to capital, I really think you should consider listing on the junior or the main market. Go ahead, have that conversation as soon as possible. We did it and we're very happy.
Mikey, is what sweet you saw?
Yeah, dear babes. Where is Kathy? Me and you go party tonight.
Party? You secure your future yet? I'm careless.
Did you know that over time the stock market has provided a reliably high return on investments? Be sure to contact a licensed stockbroker for more information on this exciting investment opportunity.
Taking care of business, Mikey?
Yeah, Kathy. I'm securing my future. Want to come look over my stock portfolio?
The Jamaica Stock Exchange, providing a fair, efficient, and transparent stock market.
Caribbean Dreams, instant turmeric tea. What you put in is what you get out. What you put in is what you get out. Yeah. Build up your body, boost up your brain. Take on the world now. Say bye-bye pain. Caribbean Dreams, instant turmeric tea. Be good to you. Caribbean Dreams, instant turmeric tea. Distributed by Amalgamated Distributors Limited.
Me grew up and see my granny save her money under her mattress.
Exactly. Okay. Your grandmother's house never burned down? No, oh, you reached that, so?
That was a one-off thing.
That could have happened to anybody. That's why you must put your money in a financial institution and protect it.
What if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in.
What you mean?
JDIC is a financial safety net which provides coverage for your money in case your financial institution fails.
Explain that to me.
All right. Because of the JDIC deposit insurance scheme, once you put your money into a financial institution like a bank or building society, you can get coverage of up to a maximum of $1.2 million per deposit of your financial institution if it should fail. And for even more information, you can visit their new website at www.jdic.org. And you can follow the social media platforms for the latest information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Welcome back. In international news, the United States is preparing to intercept more ships carrying Venezuelan oil, expanding a new enforcement strategy that has already led to the dramatic seizure of a tanker in international waters this week. Sources familiar with the operation says the U.S. has compiled a target list of sanctioned vessels, some of which also transport oil from Iran and Russia, as Washington intensifies pressure on President Nicolas Maduro. The escalation follows months of planning by the Justice Department and Homeland Security. U.S. forces are actively tracking tankers both at sea and in Venezuelan ports, waiting for them to move into international waters before intervening. The seizure of the tanker Skipper has already disrupted the market. At least 3 loaded vessels carrying nearly 6 million barrels of Marais crude bound for Asia have paused operations, with shippers holding vessels offshore amid heightened risk. The Maduro government has labeled the U.S. action theft, while the White House insists it will not allow sanctioned oil to fund rogue regimes. From global energy tensions to global tech regulation, Europe is preparing a major penalty for one of the world's biggest digital platforms. Google is expected to be fined next year by EU antitrust regulators for failing to stop favoring its own services, such as Google Shopping, hotels, and flights in search results. The European Commission found that Google's latest proposed changes still fall short of the Digital Markets Act, which bans big tech from prioritizing its own products. The case comes amid growing transatlantic tension, with U.S. officials accusing the EU of disproportionately targeting American tech companies. Regulators say Google's practices continue to disadvantage vertical search rivals, airlines, hotels, and travel services competing for top rankings. Google can still make further changes to avoid penalties, but violations under the DMA can reach up to 10% of global turnover. And while regulators tightened their grip, investors were more upbeat in U.S. markets, rewarding a major healthcare debut this week. Shares of Lumexa Imaging rose modestly in their NASDAQ debut, valuing the diagnostic services provider at $1.76 billion. The listing adds momentum to what could become the strongest U.S. IPO year since 2021, despite earlier disruptions caused by the prolonged government shutdown. Backed by private equity firm Welsh, Carson, Anderson and Stowe, Lumexa opened at $18.65, slightly above its IPO price of $18.50, raising $462.5 million. CEO Caitlin Zula says demand for diagnostic imaging continues to rise as aging populations and lifestyle-related diseases drive hospitals to expand MRI and CT capacity. And finally, to Europe again, this time a sweeping labor enforcement move affecting hundreds of workers. Prosecutors in Italy have placed 4 private security companies under judicial administration and opened investigations into 5 managers for alleged systemic labor exploitation. The firms, based in Milan and Rome, reportedly paid staff as little as €5.81 per hour below the poverty line, and in some cases demanded up to 350 working hours per month. A 43-page decree describes genuine labor exploitation and appoints 2 court administrators to enforce compliance with labor laws and restructure operations. The companies employ about 800 workers. The move builds on a broader 2-year crackdown that already forced the country's largest security firms to raise wages by 38%, signaling deeper scrutiny ahead across Italy's logistics and services industries. And that's it for the international segment of the newscast. The news recap is coming up on the other side of the break. And now to recap our top stories. In the local news, Melissa shockwaves push Jamaica into deficit, GDP down 4.3%. Regionally, IDB says stronger, more competitive markets could add up to 11% to GDP. And internationally, US expands crackdown on tankers shipping Venezuela oil. Those were the stories making today's CBX Evening News. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Rachelle Moncrief. Thanks for watching CBX, your region, your business, your source.
Hi, I'm Douglas Oren. Keep watching the Caribbean Business Exchange.